One project is really at its core about reimagining justice and how we can bring together diverse groups of people to think creatively about how we create thriving communities and address the punitive criminal legal system.
We're going to be challenged over the next couple of days to reimagine a different kind of justice.
In order for me to want change, I have to be willing to change myself and my way of thinking, how I receive information, how I process it.
We truly can't discuss what's happening current day with our criminal legal system without unpacking the history of Oklahoma. The 1921 Tulsa race massacre, as a descendant, myself of a survivor, history is the gateway to truth. And if we don't educate, we're bound and doomed to repeat it.
We are still dealing with the continued harm that our ancestors and that our loved ones dealt with decades ago.
Oklahoma has one of the worst human rights records in terms of incarceration.
There is no way you can convince me that the people who live in our state are somehow more criminogenic, and yet we tend to take a very reactive, punitive approach that's based on retribution rather than reconciliation and redemption and healing.
We have the highest rate for parental incarceration in the nation. As children of incarcerated parents, we're 7 times more likely to become incarcerated ourselves.
Tired of living in a state that consistently ranks among the bottom in human welfare.
So often our systems of punishment are very violent, put people in environments where they are exposed to more harm, where they are often traumatized, destabilizing the very systems that can truly promote safe and healthy and happy communities.
Native experiences is so different and complex. And what I began to think about was the violence of having children removed from the homes, the federal policies of dismantling Indian families. Those policies are a thread that run through our communities, that run through our generations.
Real policies of kill the Indian, save the man. When people say, like, don't take it personal in work, but it is personal.
You need to make it personal to make a difference.
Because the process was not created for justice, the process was created to have the illusion of justice.
America has been great for some, but not great for all. The ones that make the laws be the ones that break the laws. They commit the crimes, we the ones that take the fall. Julius Jones should be home, Governor Stitt make the call.
When we talk about exceptional violence and systems, Julius Jones is the prototype. Julius had his last meal. His mom and his daddy had a last visit. Violence. And they waited till 4 hours before his scheduled execution to call it off. That's how determined Oklahoma was to kill this man.
We call ourselves the buckle of the Bible Belt, and yet we are more eager to kill people that we have deemed as doing something wrong than almost any place in the world.
I think we have to talk about the theological roots that are here that cause us to believe and then build the systems that we have today.
Faith is very important to Oklahoma, and yet when it comes to creating systems for services intended to help people, those systems and those decisions are often mean-spirited. The result is oppression, inequality, bias, and harm.
The United States has quite a unique problem with its criminal legal system. It started as a way to control formerly enslaved people with slave patrols. And that root, that foundation has kind of crept its way through the entire machinery that we've built today.
That has created historical distrust for the system and for policing in general.
African Americans make up 8% of the Oklahoma population, but we make up anywhere from 25 to 35% of the incarcerated individuals in DOC.
Inhumane conditions within our prisons and jails. I see unequal sentencing and unequal policing.
Knowing folks are going to come out of the system going back to the same conditions that was arguably the catalyst for them going into the system in the first place. Yet our state has chosen to focus on punishment under the guise that it creates more safety and accountability.
We continue to push these large charges on people and large sentences is because there's a fear of harm. If we prevent and end poverty, that will solve a lot of these issues.
The media, TV, perpetuate narratives that equates public safety or safety with policing
For Black folks, every time they see the red and blue lights in the mirror, do they feel safe?
People have to feel safe. And if people don't feel safe, whether they're safe or not, we have not achieved justice.
The point of a state or a city or a town is to allow it to flourish. So how can it flourish if the participants are being judged on something they did? Like me, I did what I did when I was 16 years old, but I'm still dealing with those issues, and I'm 42 now.
It starts with the children, because the children grow up to be adults. Interacting with our children and providing a village and a community for our children where they feel safe and where they actually have a chance. But we need to have preventive programs to prevent our children from ever entering the system at all.
How can we say that our values are acts of service, honor, and kindness when your zip code determines what type of education you get?
Justice-involved community in Oklahoma probably exceeds half of the Oklahoma population, and yet we can't impact or effect change in Oklahoma because the largest majority of people in the state capital are the ones that are making the decisions.
We, the people in the state of Oklahoma, do not often hold our Oklahoma leaders accountable.
We can't just think about the system itself. We also have to think about the broader societal and cultural context in which it operates, because it's just the point of the spear of an entire system that is failing to recognize the humanity and value of every single person.
It is time to call into account the moral fabric of this country. And are we moving into the direction of who we have said we want to be?
I think a reimagination of the criminal legal system starts with a focus on social services and social infrastructure.
We have to address issues of race, class, and mental health.
Getting to prevention, getting to wraparound services before you have a legal problem.
I don't think we're going to make changes with policy. We're going to make changes through people.
And that is on all of us to continue to push people who are at the table today and people who aren't at the table. That there is a growing majority of people who believe that we need transformational change to our criminal legal system.
When it comes to talking about criminal justice, it's measured in people's lives. It's measured in fewer people being in a prison cell. It's measured in fewer people experiencing violence. Every step we take, no matter how small, for the person that you're helping, can be everything.
Knowledge without action is just simply a daydream. We have to translate that knowledge into action and simply say, I'm going to advocate and use my privilege, use my voice to help my neighbor, because nobody's free until we're all free.
I want to be known for something like positive. I want people to continue to come visit Oklahoma. And we have a lot of great history, but it's also, there's a lot of sobering moments, a lot of sad moments.
Oklahoma has a long way to go. It is not going to be easy. You have those people who are in power who are going to say no. You have those people who are not in power who are going to say no. And so you have to be willing to fight for what you believe in.
Yes, we have challenges, but we also have opportunities. I'm really grateful to be a part of Square One, and I'm hopeful that we can, if not get to accomplish all that we reimagine, that these are building blocks that we can continue to build upon.